G'day and welcome back to RC Model Reviews. I've got to say, this rain is driving me mad. Absolutely intolerable. It's never ending. We get like half a day or one day and then 2 weeks of rain. It's just terrible. It's driving me mental, honestly. It really is. In fact, how crazy have I got? Well, I'm going to show you something that's going to scare you, folks. I'm going to show you something that's going to scare you. Look at this. Look at this. I have been tidying up the bench now. Lots of plastic containers. There's stuff going into those containers. Yeah, there's lots of rubbish down there, but don't worry about that. This whole studio is getting a massive, great tidy up because I have to do something while it's raining like this. Is just maddening. And on a lighter note, though, I had something come in unexpectedly. What was it, yesterday? And this is what it is here. Look, it's a big lump of plastic. Big lump of plastic. Now, it is, of course, a multi-rotor. Quiet in the cheap seats, please. Yes, I know it's a multi-rotor. Fixed wing stuff is coming, but look at this. Isn't this interesting? This is plastic. Now, it's not molded. It looks like it's been milled from a solid piece of acetate, or I don't know what it is actually, some kind of nylon, acetate, something like that. Anyway, it's a very tough plastic. You can see it's certainly quite rigid, and it comes in two parts. We've got this bottom piece, and we've got a top piece, and it's a lovely yellow colour. But wait, there's more. If you don't like big quads like that, there is a slightly smaller one. Look, we'll turn it around the right way. A slightly smaller one. It's not that much smaller. In fact, looking at these two, I'd say that this one here is probably going to be reasonably slow, because if you compare the cross-sectional area, if I turn this one over here and look at the cross-sectional area, you can see that the rotor size or the motor spacing is pretty similar, but there's quite a bit less area in the green one. So the green one's going to be better for racing, if you want to do some racing. The yellow one, well, I don't know, maybe just for stooging around, proximity, something like that. They are, of course, from, if you look here, Team Woolly Sheep. Team Woolly Sheep? My goodness, that sounds very similar to another team, doesn't it? Team Nana. No, not Team Nana, something else. Can't remember who they are, but anyway, it's very similar. And, of course, if you want to go into the smaller quads, they've even sent me a red one, and this will be the one I probably build because it won't show the blood. No, I'll build them all, see what happens. But yeah, again, this is a tiny, rinky-dink little thing. What is it? I don't know. I'll have to measure the size. Don't know where my ruler is. I'll measure it later and tell you, but obviously they're pretty small. It actually came with a note from the people who sent it, and it was from Team Woolly Sheep. It says, Bruce and Team Nana. Here in Wales, we got a little frustrated that the drone frames on the market just didn't cut the mustard, so we decided to do something about it. Anyway, Team Woolly Sheep started up a few years ago, and over the last few years they've grown through the diligence of the team members, and they're a crack team of testers. And they are challenging me, and Team Nana, which is on my XJet channel, to build and fly and see if you can better TWS's effort. So there we go. I'll get the scales out and we'll weigh these things, because I don't know how much they weigh. Let's have a look, because you'd think, being milled from solid plastic, they could be a little bit hefty. Let's have a look and see what they weigh. The smallest one weighs 133 grams. The middle-sized one weighs 196 grams. And the great big one weighs 221 grams. So actually, they're not that heavy. And honestly, I was surprised how light these are. That's not too bad at all. And I have to say, they certainly look tough. I don't think you are ever going to break this. All you can do is fly close to the sun and it will melt, probably. That's about all, because it's made of plastic. But, of course, nothing's perfect. And I was having a look at this. Let's move some of this stuff out of the way so I can focus on this thing. Let me tighten up a bit so you can see what I'm talking about. Now, obviously, there is this cover here which bolts on with 4 bolts. Very simple. You put your flight controllers and your ESCs, because there's no place on these arms for ESCs. Flight controller, ESCs, receiver, video transmitter. But look, do you notice something missing? I do. Where do you put your flight camera? And there's no protection for your flight camera. It would have been really nice if they made sort of a cover that goes across here and some extra bolts there. Perhaps just bolt, 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 bolt. And then a lovely, rigid, very strong flight camera frame. So you can put your FPV camera in there and your Mobius on the top or something, or your GoPro or whatever on the top. That'd be quite cool. But hey, I mean, maybe it's designed for line of sight more than FPV. I don't know. Anyway, it's going to be a very interesting little thing to try out. So, one thing to note on this one, the smaller one, there is a space in the arms for the ESCs to go, which is good thinking, because there wouldn't be much space inside. And on a model this size, you don't really care about the effect of the strength that this might have. One of the other good things about being milled, rather than being is everything has a radius. All this is radius, you see. There's no sharp, like sometimes when they do carbon fibre, they have these sharp edges and things. From a stress point of view, this is quite nice because everything has got fillets and radiuses to relieve the stress and even out the stress. So that's really cool. So yeah, I will. I've just done a whole lot of builds. One of the reasons that my bench is now super tidy here is that I have been tidying up after a whole lot of builds before I start a whole lot more builds. So yeah, I might take a little break before I put these together because I've got to do all the flight tests as soon as the weather comes right, if it ever comes right. My God. Anyway, I digress. So yeah, there we go. Now, these guys have a website. It says they will be available from www.1080aerial.com and www.airjacker.com. There you go. Read it for yourself. I don't know if it'll focus. Go to HD. If you're not in HD, you could probably read that. There you go. So I don't know what the prices are. I haven't looked or anything. I just thought this is really cool. I'll show you what it is and we'll see where we go from here. So there you go. Thank you, Team Woolly Sheep from, oh no, it's Welsh. It's Clough and Pontypridd. Pontypridd, I can do that bit. There you go. Thanks, guys. Much appreciated. And we'll see, we'll get them into the review queue and we'll see how they fly. But man, you should see behind me. I'm not going to show you because it would be embarrassing. All the mini quads I now have sitting behind me, built, ready to fly. And yes, you fixed wing people, don't grizzle too much because I've got some fixed wing stuff coming up too when the weather improves. There you go. Thanks for watching. Questions, comments in the usual place. Now I will get back to my nice, clean, tidy. I'm so proud of this. My nice, clean, tidy bench. I didn't know it was this big, honestly. It's really fantastic. Bye for now.